often with these things, you're never ever going to see them again, and that makes the product so special. And that's what adds the value, right? That's why these things are worth buying, in my opinion. You're not going to see them again. They are genuine one-offs. They are true one-of-a-kinds. They've been made by hand, probably under a candle with a foot pedal and a man with a chisel or a woman. The first place the products touch, Instagram. We've got a strategy with that where we do 2 pieces per day. Ideally, the items sell off Instagram.
If you've ever wondered how it feels to sell a product online that costs more than $100,000, you'll find this conversation interesting. Alex Alferia from Battle Lane Antiques knows exactly how it feels, and he shared it today in our podcast. Alex is the founder of Battle Lane Antiques, which is a unique e-commerce store that sells antique, online, one-of-kind jewels. In our conversation today, we covered very interesting topics. For example, how to sell high-ticket jewelry online, what's unique about Battle Lane Antique, and what is the life cycle of the product from trade to customer. Why does Alex believe a personal touch is so important, especially when it comes to high-ticket? How real, genuine scarcity affects the business, the bottom line, and the customer retention, and much more.
Welcome to the EcomXFactor podcast, where it's all about launching and scaling your business using sales funnels, automations, and smart marketing. And now, please welcome your host, the founder of EcomXFactor, Yaron Bin.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
Hi, Yaron. I'm great. Thanks. You?
I'm doing well, doing great. I'm very excited for this conversation. I have a lot of questions prepared. You're obviously selling things that I've never sold, and I'm wondering how to sell these types of items. So I'm very intrigued and curious. Can you share a bit about your background and what you guys are doing at Battle Lane Antiques? I'm probably mispronouncing this, but...
So we are online antique retailers selling jewelry predominantly. Imagine your traditional antique jewelry shop, a jeweler's shop. That's exactly what we are. However, we're solely based online. Mm-hmm. We have no physical presence. We work behind, we're in an office. We're behind computer screens. Mm-hmm. Our shop front is our website and social media pages, which we use as the driving force really to interact with our customers.
And was it always like this? Was it retail before, or you started online?
Pre-Battle Lane, there was a period where I used to go out to the markets, which was sort of where I got my education. That's a much more traditional way of how the trade works. So that's where we've broken the mold, because I learned right in the markets in like the nitty gritty, and took what I learned from there and started the online brand. Traditionally, the way this trade works, Battle Lane has really, really broken the mold. It's all very private and secret, and everything's done essentially behind closed doors. But what we have done is made a conscious effort to put ourselves face forward and advertise exactly and show exactly what we're doing. And it's been a totally unique way. And as a result, I think a lot of our success has been off the back of sort of new method that we've used.
This is fascinating, and I have a lot of questions, but for people who don't know the brand and haven't visited the website, can you elaborate a bit about what you guys are selling, the price points, the selling method, the sales funnel?
Yeah, so to sum it up, we sell old pieces of jewelry, to put it really crudely, very old pieces of jewelry. The way we advertise, fine antique jewelry, curiosities, so unusual bits and pieces, things. Engagement jewelry is something we do a lot. So antique engagement rings is a big thing at the moment. People aren't wanting to buy sort of this machine-made anymore, man-made, mass-produced. So what we do is items that are over 100 years old have often been pre-loved, sort of owned by families for hundreds of years, and then we market it online, as I just mentioned earlier, sell largely over to the States.
And normally the price range is anywhere $1,000, or what are like the average price point?
Average price point's about $2,000. There's no strict rule to that. I mean, we've sold things for around 100,000, And then we've also sold things for $500. It's anywhere in between. It's if the product fits with my aesthetic and the vision with the brand. And if it does, I don't think, oh, well, I can't sell that because it's a bit too expensive or it's a bit too cheap. It doesn't matter. I mean, we've done all that work before where we've built up to a level, and now it's about quality and it's about the look and if it fits in. And I often say in the office, it's a butter lane piece, that, isn't it? And it's sometimes things have just got a certain thing about it that it's almost difficult to actually articulate. It's just there's something about something that means it's good for us to sell. And I can relate that this business has started from nothing. So all the customers that are now regulars and that have grown with us, the hundreds of thousands of them that are out there, I know what they want. So sometimes I can look at things and just think, oh, they're going to absolutely love that, and often they do. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes they don't. I miss, but there's like a sixth sense. That's the only way I can explain it.
Nice, cool. But can you clarify, how do you source the product? Is it the product are owned by some sort of a collection? You don't own the product and then you list it on your website, or you buy the product for some seller and then you list it? I'm not quite sure I understand the flow of the product.
So I go out, buy the products generally from within the trade. So I explained earlier about being in the markets, which is basically where there's a collection of other dealers that are selling into the trade between each other. So I will go to the markets and buy them from other people, from other professionals almost, people that are doing this for a living. Whereas I'm selling to the end customer. I'm taking it out of the trade and selling it. I'm at that end of the line.
I see.
So often things start coming out of auction. So the original dealer buys it out of the auction, and that could be anywhere in the UK. And then it makes its way into the trade, and then often it's passed a few sets of hands before it gets to me, because I'm at this end. So what happens? Every hand that goes through, it's getting a little bit of profit, little bit of profit. Then it comes to me, and then I'm selling to the end user, I suppose, is the easiest way to put it.
So you buy something that you believe that you'll be able to sell because your audience might resonate with the product? Yeah,
that factors into it. There's also, I look for quality and I look for style, I look for colour and things that are going to fit with the aesthetic of Butter Lane, which is not exactly traditional, but it's kind of quirky, eccentric, maybe a bit like me, I don't know. So there's a criteria that I look at, and price of the item does factor into that. I mean, at the end of the day, we're doing it to make money. Like this is our living. So I do have to look at things and think, oh, can I get a profit on that to my customer? Well, it isn't the be all and end all price. There's other things that come before price, which what I just listed.
You mentioned a few things that help you assess the product, but for me, I'm curious to understand, how do you assess the selling price? Because what's the difference for the end customer between $90,000 and $100,000? I mean, is there a difference? I mean, how do you decide the profit margin in so expensive items?
There is a difference. I mean, $10,000 is $10,000. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. That's you're going to want to make that saving. How do I do the pricing? Wow.
For lower ticket items, people just have like formulas. They say, okay, the cost of good is $20, so I'm going to multiply it for like 3 times or 5 times. But here, I assume it's kind of different. I just don't know how to approach it. I don't know how to approach it. So I'm wondering, how do you approach it?
It can't be like that, because it quickly get out of control, couldn't it? If you were timing things by 5, by 10.
Yeah, for sure.
We have set numbers that we need to hit. The team are targeted to hit every week. I think I look back at historic. We've been doing this for a long time now, so I look back and know for this type of thing what I can get and what I can ask. I don't want to sound like a charlatan that I just sort of charging. I try and get as much as I can, but not all the time. I mean, often if things come in cheap, when things come in cheap, if I bought something really particularly well out of the trade or out of the auction, then that gets passed on to the customer. So we don't have huge overheads in terms of shop rents or insurance or anything because we're behind the computers. So often our prices aren't as high as the high street, which is a reason why I champion buying this stuff online from someone like me.
Can you elaborate a bit about the marketing and the whole sales funnel? Because I see that in many products you have like an inquire or hold option. Do you have also auctions? And how do you do you market each product separately, or the store, or the whole brand?
Yeah, so the product comes into us. I'll just quickly go through sort of like a life. So I've gone out and bought it. 3:00 in the morning in the rain in Manchester. It's cold, and then it makes its way to our offices to Monty, who is, you'll hear me speak about Monty, and he will photograph. And the first place the products touch, Instagram. We've got a strategy with that where we do 2 pieces per day. Ideally, the items sell off Instagram. Most of them do, really. But then from Instagram, after doing a different set of photographs, and then they make their way from there to our website. If they don't sell instantly off the website, then there's other platforms like Etsy, First Dibs, which are popular sort of channels for jewelry and sort of bespoke items. So social media, website, selling platforms. And then after all of that, when that's all gone on, after 6 months, 9 months time, maybe, if there's still something hanging around, maybe it was a mistake, maybe I paid too much for this piece, or it's not resonated with the customer, which does happen. I'm not perfect. I'm close, but I'd love to get rid of, not to get rid of something, but I will then go and sell something back to the trade and try and just get the money that I paid back for something, if just to release the capital, and then I can buy something else, and the process starts again. So it's social, website, platforms.
Cool. And how do you drive traffic, for example, to the Instagram page or to your website? Facebook ads or Google ads or SEO?
I use a performance marketing team that are based in Manchester, which are amazing. They've really leveled us up. Paid socials, Instagram ads, Facebook ads is just as big as Instagram, which I never knew, but I invest a lot into that. But I do believe Instagram drives the majority of the traffic to the website, and so a lot of the business is now done on repeat custom, because we've been at it for quite a while now. So we have a collection of very, very loyal fans, I call them. Well, they're customers. They will come back. They'll probably check the website every day. They know that we update the website daily, and we're dynamic and we're quick. And also they know in the same way that when things come on Instagram that they're going to go, really, really fast. So if you want a butter lane piece, then you need to pull the trigger. Don't sit around and think, I might buy it. I'm not sure. I might wait till Friday. It doesn't. It's like, no, get in touch. Tell me you want it. Put it on hold. Otherwise, it's going to sell. That's how quickly stuff's turning over.
This is amazing, and this is the power of real scarcity, because a lot of websites, they try to create fake scarcity, but in this case it's real scarcity. This is
genuine scarcity, like there's one of these things. There isn't 100 of them knocking around that you often with these things you're never ever going to see them again, and that makes the product so special, and that's what adds the value, right? That's why these things are worth buying, in my opinion. You're not going to see them again. They are genuine one-offs. They are true one-of-a-kinds. They've been made by hand, probably under a candle with a foot pedal and a man with a chisel, or a woman, I don't know, with a chisel. It's amazing. Like we don't have this anymore. It's
so cool.
Really is something. It's really cool. That's what it is. And you can see it in me. I am so passionate about it. I absolutely love it. But this is genuine scarcity. That's really nice. I love that, because you see so many companies, brands, retailers online trying to create scarcity, and some do it really, really, really well. Clothes brands especially. I mean, thinking like Supreme or something. That's that. But they do create scarcity really, really well. Yeezy, with all this at the moment, it's in the media. But this is real scarcity. I've
sure.
never thought of it like that, and that's amazing.
That's cool. Yeah, for me, whenever I go to booking.com, my balls are shaking because I see like a hotel that I want to order, and then you see like only one left in booking.com, like only one hotel room, and I know it's fake, and still I'm very like anxious.
Yeah, that's a horrible trick, that, isn't it? Last one remaining.
Exactly.
Wait, get the credit card.
Would you say that the majority of your customers or people who are going to sell the jewelry later for a higher price, or they buy it for their own personal use?
Not anymore. I genuinely can, and I can pretty confidently say that the majority of our customers are buying for themselves and for their own collections and to wear and to enjoy.
Nice.
I do sell to the trade, and I can sell to the trade. I'm buying at that level where, but I think now with Butter Lane and the way we're positioned, we're retailers at the end of the day. You know, we're a retail shop. We're just different because we're in the computer.
Cool. I wanted to ask you about the customer experience, because when you're selling products that are pretty expensive, first of all, there are a few frictions, because if you send, first of all, how does the payment work? I mean, are people depositing the payment in an escrow or just paying you guys? And once they receive the product, if they want to return the product, what happens?
So they'll pay through our website, which is a debit or credit card sort of thing. It comes it comes into our account. There's no escrow situation. I mean, it would be something I'd entertain for a very, very high ticket, because I do appreciate that. But it comes to us. We post it with a private courier insured.
Yeah.
If they did want to return something, that was it. You know, the money stays in our system. It's not withdrawn until we know the customer's happy, if that makes sense. If they did want to return, then they return, and then they straight away get their money back. Mine is a couple of fees, you know, shipping, the original shipping fee, I guess.
Cool. I get it.
So yeah, the customer experience in that regard is seamless. Right? It's very, very, you know, it's very secure. It's very safe. I encourage people to use credit cards just for that added security. And the shipping is totally insured, signed end to end, signed a little bit in the middle as well. So each scan. So for instance, it leaves our office in Manchester, probably goes through London before it gets on the plane. And then as it gets to the airport in London, there's another signature. So we know, right, it definitely got there and it's safe. And then when it lands in the States or Australia or Japan or wherever it is, signed again. Signed. The shipping has been it's been a massive journey to get to work this out, because we used to bloody go and queue up at the post office, you know, and it was just so terrifying. And as I started pushing the limits with the values, it became really integral to find a courier that we could trust and work with and spend a fortune with, ultimately, you know, because we're sending out hundreds and hundreds of parcels every month, you know, and we needed someone that we knew could deliver. You know, at the end of the day, that it's part of the brand experience, isn't it? But it's out of our hand. It's not being delivered by Butter Lane. It's being delivered by UPS. You know, and I hope their delivery man is, you know, presented well and whatever else. But I'm not responsible for that.
Nice. I'm looking at your website, and it's very beautiful, and the design is unique. And I wanted to ask you, what evolvements or changes have you made to the website recently that you believe had a very positive impact? I mean, maybe you've added more blogs or changed the design. I mean, I'm just trying to understand what is important for high-ticket buyers in regards to improving the conversion rates and average order value. So
the Monty is in charge of the blog. For the high ticket, I believe the personal touch. So, and the blog is actually new on there. I don't know if that's why you said that. I mean, I really, really want to get across that when these people are spending 5s, 10s, 20,000s, that is going to there's real people behind the screen that are that there's nothing worse than thinking, oh, someone's spending a load of money and it's just like automated.
Yeah.
So the idea of the blog is put a personal touch and just put something that shows like, this is us, this is the brand, this is what's going on here. We are real. And you can trust us essentially. So daily updates to the blog and just that very, very slightly personal touch, I believe. Which is what we're going for with that.
And for example, when someone doesn't convert on the first visit, I mean, do you know what are like the common objections people have in regards to your website? For example, some people might think, okay, I'm not sure that this ring will fit. Some people might say the price is too high. So what are like very popular objections that you handle in your sales funnel?
I think people may want to touch base first and speak to someone. So it happened last night. I was getting some food and my mobile rang. Someone got my number somehow. And there was a lady who wanted to buy something. She said, oh, hello, I was just checking that you are Butterlane and that you do exist and stuff. So I had a big long chat with this lady. She's called Anna, down in Hampshire somewhere. And gave her that little bit of confidence that actually she was buying from somebody.
Quick favor, guys. If you enjoy these shows and have been a listener for quite some time now, we would really, really appreciate it if you could take the time to give us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or whatever your preferred podcast app may be. Having lots of ratings and audience feedback makes our show become more visible across multiple platforms. And it also supports our mission of helping as many people as possible to become better marketers and better entrepreneurs. So if you're not driving and it wouldn't be dangerous, pause this thing right now and give us an honest review over your podcast app. And we will love you even more than we already do. Thank you for taking the time, and I hope you enjoyed the show.
So the personal touch, I really encourage. People often will message us through Instagram, send us emails, and they'll speak to me, and they'll just speak to me the way I'm speaking to you.
Cool. And do you have like a
with a high ticket item, I feel.
And what about like information that people very often want to know about the products?
Extra information.
Yeah, I mean, I see that you have like measurements, weight, stuff like that. Because for me, not that I buy very often rings, but what are things that might interest people who buy rings or necklaces that I can think of?
People would want to see something modeled, so then we call in the wives, and we're like.
Nice.
They don't want to see a picture on a hairy chest. That's a common interaction. Can I see how this looks worn?
Nice.
And often going back to this sort of collection of regular customers, they know that they can trust us because they know the experience that if they got it and it didn't look right when they put it on, that they just send it back and they'd be offended. And again, it comes down to the scarcity thing. So you've got quick. You can send us. I've got 3 emails overnight saying, "Can I see a picture of this worn on?" And maybe it's something I should consider adding to the website as I don't know how. I mean, I can see it for the future because with is it called AR?
Augmented reality.
Yeah. So if you could sort of take a picture of yourself and then the necklace could sort of superimpose on, and then you could actually, that's going to be my next project.
Nice. I just had a podcast yesterday with a guy who mentioned the AR in regards to selling furniture. So there's a solution that you take the phone. Let's say you want to buy a sofa. So you take the phone to your lounge, and it's going to superimpose the sofa in the lounge, so you can really see how the sofa looks in your lounge, which is pretty cool. So I'm sure that there are solutions available for AR in regards to putting the necklaces on your customer.
Might be quite tricky because it's really intricate, but I'll make something quite
nice. Cool. And I was wondering, how do you keep in touch with your customers? I mean, you mentioned that you have a lot of returning customers. So do you have like a weekly newsletter or mainly via Instagram?
The repeats have my phone number, and they'll text. We're in WhatsApp groups. It's I really go for the personal touch. We do have a newsletter, but I'm very conscious of not spamming.
Yeah.
So probably only monthly. We do a monthly with the products that have the latest products that have not sold instantly on Instagram. So what other things have we done? I mean, we did like Instagram lives. Well, I'll try anything to sort of give that personal touch. Phone, email, DMs.
I see.
I mean, we're posting fresh items daily onto Insta, and I feel that the people. I mean, there's quite a lot of them, on there, like 100,000 plus. I feel that they know that means we're here.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, what are, in your opinion, what are some common misconceptions with regards to giving the personal touch? I mean, some people are reluctant to give this personal touch, maybe because they believe that it isn't worth the effort. But what is your take about this?
I think it's a game changer. I think it's been able to put us leaps ahead, this personal thing. So traditionally in this trade, as I mentioned, it's a very secret hush. Because of security, sadly, you've got to be careful because it's high value and there's high amounts of cash and stuff like that. I mean, people could say that. I mean, I know that people, my peers or colleagues that are doing this similar thought, may think I'm crazy. Like, I can't believe you'll go on camera and talk about jewelry and put your face to the business. Like, how dangerous! But it's I mean, it's been great for us. It's worth it, and I think, does that answer your question?
Yeah, for sure. I kind of knew you're an advocate of putting the personal touch because you've been talking about this the whole conversation. But I was just, I mean, I think that people are reluctant to do this, and I'm wondering if it's because they are selling cheaper items, so they don't think it's worth the effort, which kind of makes sense because if you're selling like a $20 item, so what's the point in investing in building a long-term relationship? One would say, but I disagree with this as well.
I disagree. Well, just to expand on what you just said, like I started selling $20 items, and I didn't start selling huge, big, 50,000 plus items. I mean, often we don't sell loads of those. It's probably one a month. One big ticket item. But they're not every day. But you got to start building. Like, I didn't really think in those early days in 2013 when it was me and Monty in our like freezing cold office. I didn't think that it was going to grow to this, what it has grown to. It is worth the effort because you've got to start somewhere, right?
For sure. Can you share, like, this is an interesting topic that I would like to explore. Can you share like some crucial milestones? So let's say in 2015 you got your first 100,000 sale and said, okay, we have something here. I mean, do you remember like specific milestones that gave you confidence to keep on moving forward?
So it was in it was 2015 actually. It was when I grasped this concept that things could sell instantly, as quick as they came in. They could sell over to America by Instagram. I remember the piece vividly. I've spoke about it on our own podcast. It was cool. It was a signet ring seal with a stone and a Medusa head intaglio engraved. And Monty and I said, "Come on, let's just get that on Instagram." And we'll go and get a sandwich. We'll go over the road to the cafe. And we were sat at the table, and we have the Shopify app, ka-ching when there's a sale. Nice. And I heard it go, and I was ordering the lunch for us. And I came back, and he just had a huge smile on his face. What's happening is like Medusa's just gone straight away, and that was the piece. And I thought, oh, this is it. Like, this is we could like this is incredible, and I still get that buzz weekly, and it's so exciting for us to do. We go and find them and pick them out of somewhere, and make them look beautiful, present them, and then rapidly they sell. It's amazing.
That's crazy. And when people buy, do they often buy more than one item, or normally it's one item per session?
Normally it's one per session, but most people that buy do end up coming back within the 12-month period. Yeah.
I see. And what about the life cycle of the customer? I mean, do you find it often that people buy on their first session or only after a while? Because normally with high ticket items, it's less impulsive buying. But on the other hand, you guys have the scarcity, the impact of the scarcity. So I'm just wondering, how does this come to play?
I think often, sadly, maybe people learn the hard way. Like maybe they see something and they love it and they think, oh, well, I'll come back on Friday or Saturday and I'll buy that. Then they come back and it's gone. And then so maybe second and third, and for them they realise. And I think when you give it thought, it's obvious, that of course there's an immense scarcity of this type of product.
Yes, scarcity is so powerful.
Yeah, and so I guess the higher the value, maybe the more sessions it takes. But we have a marketing team in place that retarget, I guess, ad roll and that sort of thing. They're doing this in a nice way, not bombarding, but we're getting those people back that touch on, that click on, or that engage. We then engage back with them, and that's with personal adverts that might be. I mean, I'm filming some today actually. Me speaking to the customer. Monty speaking to the customer.
Nice.
In our office and showing us what we do, showing me maybe out buying some stuff and then Monty photographing it and that whole process. So that, I guess from that first engagement, then they're given some confidence by what we put in front of them.
Yeah. It sounds like this is a great idea to see you guys, for example, going to the auctions and to the trades and buying the stuff, like seeing the whole life cycle of the product, and obviously seeing your faces. I'm sure it's going to increase reduce the customers' anxiety in regards to, is this a real brand or not?
It's the big tickets, and I do respect that, and I those customers that are just going to spend big amounts of money, for anyone, for me, for Monty, for the business, it's big, and I don't take that for granted in any way, and so I have to be soft with that and understand that not everyone earns a fortune of money. Some people spend the most of their money with us, with me, and that's like mind blowing. That's amazing, and I have to be grateful for that to the customer and to the business and just to everything, which I am. Yeah.
Awesome. That's cool. One last question. We spoke a lot about the scarcity. So how do you have any suggestions for other store owners to signal scarcity? Because I saw, for example, that every product that you sell, you have a tag that says that it's already sold. But are there any best practices for other e-commerce store owners that you suggest using in order to increase the scarcity, genuine scarcity? I mean, whenever a product is sold, do you make it a point to post on Instagram, we just sold the X, for example?
I do that, but I'm wary of, I don't want to rub anyone up the wrong way. You're familiar with that saying? So, if someone really wanted that, they don't want to know that it's sold. That's rubbing salt in the wound, right? Or that's not. So and I do that myself actually when things sell, because the scarcity has been great and it's been integral for the business. So I guess that poses the question: how is it going to look in the future? In 20 years' time, when I'm 40, sorry. I forgot how old I am now.
Are you 20 years old now?
I'm 30 years old. Actually.
Okay, because you said it's 50 when you're 50.
Yeah, when I'm 50, the goods are getting less and less. And since I started in the last 7 years, there's less antiques around for me to buy, sell.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be able to buy so much more than what I can buy now. It's more of a challenge. So there's less and less in the so they're getting scarcer and scarcer, which is going to do what? It's going to push the prices up for me to buy, which is then going to push. So then could you say they're investment pieces? I mean, that's one school of thought. Yeah. I'm not putting words in anyone's mouth, but they are getting less and less. And I'm interested to see how this job evolves over the next 20, 30 years.
Very interesting. Are there any verticals that you're considering entering? I don't know, selling stamps or selling NFTs, or like moving away from jewelry and to going to other collectibles?
For now, no. Just going to focus what we're good at, which is jewelry, and keep our eye on the ball and just continue to be the best.
Cool.
With the antiques, and refine the process, because we're growing so fast. We grew so fast in those days, and now it's just finessing this system that we created. When it's not perfect yet, the system is, but I'm on with it. I'm getting there, so it's fun. We're developing new things are adding to the strategy daily, weekly, monthly, all the time, constantly growing, constantly evolving, constantly pushing those boundaries. But for now, it's just jewelry, and I don't see anything. I don't know what you said. What did you say? Stamps?
Stamps or NFTs, stuff like that. NFTs, it's more from the blockchain. Non-fungible.
I don't understand all that stuff.
Okay, cool.
Maybe that's something that I should look into.
For sure. Awesome,
NFT, isn't it? Non-fungible trade.
Non-fungible trade. Yes. This is might be a bubble, but a lot of people are spending a lot of money over there. Buying collectibles, so I'm just asking out of curiosity. I know.
Then Yaron, I need to look into it. Can you consult on
that? Not yet.
Well, if anyone can, hit me up because I'm interested.
For sure. And I know. I said it. That was my last question, but I have another question that popped up. So you mentioned that you guys are growing. I'm sure you'll cope. So you mentioned that you guys are growing and you're very successful. And I was wondering, what do you attribute this success to? Because for me, I see that you're very passionate about this whole thing. Do you think this is the main factor, or what other factors are contributed to the success and the growth of Butter Lane Antiques?
I think just Monty and my consistency and hustle, day in, day out, 365 days a year. It's been non-stop. We don't take our eye off the ball. This is it. Like, this is us. Like, this is us. This is in our blood now. And I think like that sort of real consistency and grinding through those days where it's tough. Like, it's not been plain sailing every day. It still isn't plain sailing every day. More days now are plain sailing than they're not. But sitting there on those days where, oh my God, the bank's empty and the stock isn't great, and you got to just think, it's okay, we can turn this around, and sticking with it, it's like anything, isn't it? Stick with it.
Yeah, for sure. Consistency is so important, and persistence and consistency it's not sexy.
A graph on social medias, one of the accounts I follow, and it says like, so everyone starts here in the bottom left corner, and everyone wants to get here, which is in that, this is success. Right? But the path to get there isn't just going to be linear. It's going to be like all over the place. Up, down, and those horrible days. And we've had really dark days. I'm thinking you're familiar with the story. Everything happened with my health, and Monty had to step up on his own. with no real guidance. And, it was worrying times, they were challenging times. And, through the, whatever this is that's going on, the pandemic, and not whatever this is that's going on, that posed a difficulty to it was actually great for the business because the supply of stock was impossible because everything closed, obviously. And we've been through tough times, and it's sticking with those tough times which equal good success.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's easy to throw the towel in, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. It's all about consistency and putting in the reps. This is in my opinion, also people greater than me say that it's all about consistency and putting in the reps. So I tend to agree with them.
Me too.
Awesome. Alex, it's been a real pleasure. It was very interesting to me to hear about such an innovative idea and a market that I know nothing about, and I really appreciate your time and the inputs that you shared. Is there anything that I forgot to ask, or any last thing that you would like to share with the audience of the listeners before we say farewell?
Just to follow us on. I do believe that the best way to keep the customer to keep their finger on our pulse is through the Insta. Yeah, catch us on there and keep your eyes on the website and fall in love with the pieces like we do.
Awesome. Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, Alex. Have a nice, lovely rest of your day. And we'll keep in touch. It's been a pleasure. Bye-bye. Take care. Hi guys, this is Yaron again. Just a few more things before you take off. Number 1, if you want to learn more about e-commerce and marketing, make sure you check out our YouTube channel, which is called EcomXFactor Official. Number 2, check out our Facebook group, which is called EcomXFactor Marketing and E-commerce Mastermind. This is a great place to ask questions and connect with other business owners. And last but not least, if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to share it with your friends and colleagues, plus leave a review at your favorite podcast app.